Can I mute it so I can watch it?
Yeah, you
I
can mute
wonder.
it. Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Um,
Is it going to your YouTube as well?
not yet. It will.
Oh, wow. This is
Yeah.
so cool.
I'm just going to turn the volume down so I can actually watch the stream on it. But that's the set. So I've got the setup now. But we can go welcome. Welcome to the voice. And the voice for social good using
Social
social
good.
media. And I'll just pull up
Yay.
the next page and we'll go in here. I'm just going to do a setup change. I'm just going to clean it up.
Nice.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi there,
Hello.
Michael. Hello.
This is Sylvia Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
And you too.
Where are you based?
I'm in Brisbane and I'm sorry I don't know your name.
My name is Sylvia. I'm
Sylvia,
from
hi.
I'm in the
The
UK.
UK?
Yes, near Oxford.
Lovely.
It's very frosty and cold in here today. And I know Michael was very hot today, so I'm feeling a little
Yes.
bit jealous.
I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it now. I am.
Michael, we are expecting Claire. She has very slow internet connection at the hotel.
If you're talking to her by text, there's an option in the settings on the Hangout that she can actually run on the slow settings or run on the iPhone. The iPhone will do as well.
Okay.
Yeah, she can actually join from an iPhone.
All right. I shall text her and let her know.
Yeah, that's cool. But
It's good, isn't it?
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're live. I'm watching it on the live stream as well. I'm watching me and you and
This is so much fun. I feel like a child. Seriously.
cool. I love that idea.
Are we recording it as well? Michael, are you sending it to YouTube? Yes? Can you
Yeah.
send it to mine?
Yes. I can send it to
Do
your
that.
YouTube channel. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is actually quite dangerous if you think of it.
That's pretty good.
Hello.
G'day.
Hiya.
Hello.
It's just Is
G'day
it Ant,
from
is it?
Melbourne, Australia.
You're in Melbourne.
Oh, Australia again.
That's
Great.
Ant.
We've nearly got an Aussie Pommy hangout.
How you doing?
That's all right.
Friday the 13th. It's all good.
It is. It's a magic day, isn't it?
It's a magic day.
Something amazing is going to happen. I have a feeling.
Cool.
And what's the
I have
time
a
in the
feeling.
UK?
It's 11 in the morning, so it's almost midday.
Yes.
What time is it
No
at yours?
snow yet?
No, we
Oh.
didn't have any this year. No.
Mm.
And to be honest, today is the first day when we have frost, so all the kids were, I have a 6-year-old, they were very excited to see something white on the grass.
Yeah.
Because there's no snow. So this is a kind of a monthly thing I used to do on the chat before we had Google Hangouts. And actually I'm really happy because the Google Hangouts are much more suitable for this kind of very informal, whatever happens type of a conversation. Because I started to connect people who work in IT and geeks with people who work in social good and social media. Sorry, in non-profits. So bring in people, kind of almost drag in people who work in non-profits and want to use technology. But for that, you need a very informal environment. Because some people get stuck at the level of, hello Nick, of just
G'day,
learning
Nick.
how to use different tools.
Yes, I
So
understand.
that's why
Amy.
it's called Social Media Breakfast for Social Good.
Lovely title.
Yeah, but of
We
course
like to think so.
we talk about anything else as well. We usually end up
We
looking
open
at our Google
presents
Plus.
and
Even
Nick is
beautiful
always
eyes.
opening his presents and beautiful eyes. Yes, we had that
And
as well.
beautiful eyes.
We had a hangout where a lady was talking, and in the meantime, boys were commenting her eyes on the chat. Poor her. She didn't know what they were doing. It was quite funny actually, because she looked very serious in the meantime.
She's trying to keep a straight face and her eyes, and they're beautiful. And you say, yeah. So I still say I, and the beautiful eyes.
Yes, it's almost like
Where
a
are you
thing we should
now,
add
Nick?
it to.
Oh, you're still finding things.
oh no, I was just setting up my second monitor so I can do other stuff on that one while I chat on this one.
Okay.
I'm multitasking.
Oh, good.
We were in a kind of a meetup in London last night, so with Nick. So we're very slow today, because that basically means we had a few
Speak for
beers.
yourself.
So you had alcohol.
I'm just saying, just in case.
I'm on fire.
I'm fine as well.
I love London. I wish I was there rather than in the heat in Brisbane.
Really.
I was born and brought up in London, and now I live down in the countryside. So it's quite the change.
You should tell them the story you told me yesterday about the badger. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I have a little trouble with sleeping, and I'm a bit of a night owl. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up the other day and kind of like fetched a coffee and thought, right, I've got to have a cigarette. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's the only thing I can do. Open my front door and there's a badger stood there, just like staring at me. And I was like, badger! And it ran away. It was possibly the single scariest thing that's happened in a long, long time to me.
I'm just really amazed that you're surprised having that in the countryside, and it's obviously happening even
I've
in
never
London.
seen a badger. I only saw a chicken for the first time, like, what? A year ago, I saw my first live chicken.
Shocking.
So that's a boy born and bred in London then, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, this is very lucky it wasn't a
That's
kangaroo.
It wasn't a kangaroo. My last experience with the buck was the buck actually wanted to stand up and have a go at me. That was pretty good. I had a laugh with that. Because he
I was
just
scared
wanted
of.
to stand up, and he says, "You're standing next to my woman," and that was his attitude. That was his attitude. It was really good.
You're laughing. We had I grew up in town and then moved to a small village, and the local priest had a goose that acted like a dog. It was so aggressive. When you opened the gate and went into his garden, the goose was started to charge towards you and chase you out of. Well, the moment you closed the gate and you were outside on the street, it was fine. But the
you're in their
moment you entered its territory, it was really aggressive. It was scary.
I have heard that
Samuel
about
John?
you.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, we're coming to say hello.
Chatting about animals actually instead of social media for
Yeah,
good,
we're talking
but
about
that's fine.
animals. Kangaroos
That's
and
all right.
geese.
Badgers.
Badgers.
Badgers! They're not as scary as geese, though. I'm terrified of geese. I have to walk across a river to get to town, and if there are geese there, I go around the long way, and it takes like 20 minutes extra, but anything to avoid geese, I can't. Oh, they terrify me.
They're very
Kangaroo
hostile.
attack.
Kangaroo attack.
Oh, let's have a go on that. When kangaroos attack.
You're joking. Kangaroos must be really strong.
No,
They
extremely
box,
strong.
don't they?
But what they do, they push up on their tail, grab
Yeah.
up on your shoulders, and use their lower paws to rip the crap out of your genital area, and they can
Ow.
destroy you.
Ow.
God, that kangaroo's evil.
Do that. I think the boys are trying to
Good old
frighten you
Skippy.
still, but they don't all do that.
No.
Oh, I've got to watch this. Kangaroo kicks kid into river.
Nah.
Luckily, kangaroos are not here, so that's okay. We only have little birds coming and knocking on the door almost. But you have those little robins that say hello. They're not scared of people at all. It's actually
Yes.
quite cute. So when I
Beautiful.
sit out to have a coffee outside in the patio, we live in a lovely garden. They just come and sit in front of you and say hello and look at you. Yeah. I can't work out if it's the same because they all look the same. So Nick is having fun with watching YouTube. Hey, stop
Kangaroo
browsing on
kicks kid
YouTube.
into river. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
So you know what I noticed yesterday at the meeting with London. In London, we had few people coming from charities who don't even know Google Plus. Nick, instead of having a beer in the pub, he's actually subscribing people to Google Plus so that they can use it for their charities because
I'll be
they don't
invoicing
really.
Google shortly.
No, seriously, it's and we I think we had people who were genuinely interested in technology. No.
Well, the way I was just in a hangout with a couple of guys from the US, and basically they run a gaming geek TV show online, and they're trying to somehow format Google Plus into it. And I said to them, basically, the more people that use Google Plus, it's going to take the money out of Skype, and it'll take the technology out of Facebook. So this is bigger. This is the beginning of something that's going to get bigger than Facebook, bigger than Skype, all rolled into one. And look how many other benefits you got. All your documents on here. I'm finding shortcuts to Gmail through Google Chrome. You don't need to use anything else. It's all in one, and it's brilliant.
I agree on that. I think the moment when Google Plus started, we had a feeling that it's the reason why I was really excited about it, and everyone was surprised. Why am I getting so crazy about Google Plus? Is because I already use a lot of Google tools, and to get them, it was just so easy to collate all my contacts in one place. It's almost scary how easy it is. I just hope it's not going to give us this feeling of being closed in one network. It's so far, it looks like you can pull in contacts from other places as well quite easily. But it's, it's really open and functional. I mean, with Nick, we use Google Hangouts for work. Instead of Skype calls, we don't have Skype calls anymore. Sorry, that's my Twitter making funny noises.
I think it's great because, like, when we share documents and notes and presentations together, we would sat there doing a brief on here, just using the extras section to have our presentation up, and we were going through it, talking at the same time. And it worked so much better than using, for instance, a live streaming tool to stream presentations and then a Skype on the side. It was just brought it all into one. It was perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Just excuse me for one moment, if you will, please, while I just help Claire log in. She's having trouble getting on joining us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just mute
Oh,
the
what's this
sound.
live now, Michael?
We're live
yeah,
now, Nick, and we're recording it.
Yeah, that's the channel that I'm recording to, Nick.
Oh, wow. I know. I'm just clicked on it. Oh, my God, there's Sylvia.
Oh,
And
gosh.
you. And you.
And you.
And
Oh, I
there's
don't like
actually
it. It's like
Twitter.
double vision.
Yes, double vision. Now, Nick, with this program, you can actually use Twitter and use Twitter for the chat. So if you look at the chat window on the right-hand side, but you on TV is just a universal one we use, which is set up as a search. The other search that works really well for Twitter for live programs is hashtag of live now. People follow that, so you can attract a lot of people with it.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting it as well.
Oh, I was just doing that from the voice account.
I'm doing it from mine as well because the kind of Voice and me have a lot of same followers, so I don't want to repeat the story. I hope people can join us. I'm just going to try the live stream to see what we can do with... Should we test the chat? I posted something earlier.
Oh, I posted some stuff in the chat just then. Even
I
if
don't
you're
know. You
using
just saw.
Hootsuite with it, it's in the Hootsuite chat under. I've got a search for which we can retweet.
All right, I'll have to interrupt and ask. Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're right.
no problem. Thanks.
How's she going?
No, look, she's asked, is there any way that you can send her an invitation? The page is only half loading and she can't see where to get on and join.
Okay, I'll send her a note now, but it's fine.
My apologies.
Oh, don't worry. No, we're testing today. You know, we're trying this out. That's what it is about. We
It's
had a
working
huge
perfect.
discussion about it last time, I think, about how we don't want to make it structured.
Do you know, I was only thinking after talking to Michael yesterday what a fabulous medium this is for real estate agents when they have buyers that are out of the town or, you know, somewhere else interstate overseas, that they could
Yeah.
actually do virtual tours and talk about the property.
In so many ways. I'm at an hello, David. Hello, David. Dave?
Hello, Sylvia. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very fine. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
I've got the screen of
Good to
death.
see you too.
Hang on.
He's been this guy who's joining us right now. He's been one of the first people doing the voice social media breakfast with me when it was still on Tangler in a chat. So I'm glad he's here now.
Some time ago, yeah.
Ages ago, wasn't it? 2 years
Ages.
ago.
It must
Yeah.
have been, yes.
How's Poland today?
Oh, it's calm, I would say. Nothing's happening today, apart from blocking one of the biggest pages on Facebook
Oh
in
no.
Poland.
How come?
Demotywatory. It's a page that distributes funny stories, funny pictures, and they've been blocked by Facebook.
Really? Wow.
It's true.
Blocked,
Yesterday,
but blocked as in
blocked.
the
As in they cannot. Nobody can post links from their website.
Oh, I see. So no one can upload links from that URL.
Yes, because they are being too spammy, according to Facebook.
That's interesting.
They have just celebrated their 1 million of fans last week.
It's a little bit like the I can has cheeseburger with lolcats, you know, that type of a content that people very often put up on their Facebook. So it can get messy, really, but it's pretty harsh, no? Just
I think so. I think it's temporary. So
I've got to jump out and jump back in. I'll be back in a sec.
okay. Yeah, that's very harsh. We were talking about how we can use Google Hangouts. I also, you know, we have this mentioning of a rock band. It's really cool how you can engage people through Google Hangouts, isn't it? I was thinking about using it for just hosting trainings, because I used to do marketing studies from home because my son is small, so I couldn't go to evening classes, and I used to do proper kind of webinars. But it would be so much easier if you can actually talk to other students about what you're studying.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
David, how
We're having a little issue at the moment that we're playing with. Shall we be back on the line pretty quick? So let's get voice back again.
Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy.
Mm-hmm.
Many companies said and published an information on their pages that they will give money to this charity. This is a one-time per year event. If they get some amount of fans. So it was really some people were supporting this, but usually marketing specialists said this is not right.
Really?
Yep.
I think it was the first
But,
year when
it was like
Yeah, sorry.
the first year what was.
The first year I saw some really kind of a lot of criticism around it, and I was wondering why.
Around Bosch or around this particular marketing tactics?
Around the marketing tactics.
I mean, this was not, it didn't have anything to do with Bosch itself. It was just, an initiative by those companies. They wanted to monetize. They wanted to grow their fan base by giving money to Bosch, by saying that they give money to Bosch. So
Yeah,
I think it was not fair.
that's true.
Many people bought it, One company raised 200,000 fans because of this. They said they will give 10,000 zloty to charity.
Mm-hmm.
So people bought it.
Oh wow, what was that?
There was a vehicle driving past someone's house.
Was it?
I only get badgers.
It was actually quite funny because we didn't know who was it. Who was it?
It was loud.
It wasn't loud, but it was just like a car just cruised past.
It was very spooky, I think.
Where I live is near a couple of horse racing tracks, and so we get the horses get up about 2 in the morning to go for a ride, and so they're click clop down the streets, and
Okay.
yeah, so it's really cool. So you
You
get
sure
really
it's
used to
just-
it.
Are you sure it's just not some it's not some whacked out Monty Python fans with coconuts.
No, no. It's not the Monty Python fans.
This world is terrifying. Geese, chicken, badgers, kangaroos, horses.
We had when I was at the university, we rented a house when at 5 in the morning there was this spooky truck or a bus coming over. Every morning at 5 in the morning, you would hear this zooming noise down the street, and our window was just down to the street. This kind of we didn't know what it was. Was it a bus or a truck vehicle? By the time you went to the window, you couldn't see it anymore. But because it was repetitive and it was happening every night, we were really freaked out. You're saying about deadliest snakes. My son is watching the Deadly 60, and every day I hear about some scary animals. Today I was educated on poisonous
He's
frogs.
funny, that guy. The Deadly 60, he's funny.
He's crazy. Seriously. I just couldn't watch one with spiders when he had huge spiders walking on his hand. I was serious.
He gets in it. They love it though. They absolutely love that stuff because it's real and it's tangible stuff. And the Deadly 60.
That's true. It's good for kids as well, because kids like those morbid stories.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Michelle, I've already rebooted one computer, one crashed, and I'm going, what the bleak?
Is it because it's the 13th? Mine crashed at 8:45. I rebooted it, set up my laptop thinking maybe I've got to go onto my laptop. And Claire's paid $60 for internet connection in this hotel. And she said if that's not working in a minute, she's going down to reception to tell them that this is just not acceptable.
I had to host. I was invited to host this session.
I found internet connection in hotels not to be as good as what they're saying.
No. I don't like it because I usually travel with a lot of geeks as well. So when everyone wakes up in the morning, there's no way to connect because everyone's trying to. I started saying I was invited to present at Barcamp Dubai once, and I happened to be in Santiago de Chile. So in Santiago, it was like 6 or 7 in the morning. It was cool, but you could actually feel during my presentation that everyone in the hotel is waking up, and there were about 200 bloggers in the hotel. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, it just died as it is, and my friend from Dubai had to continue my presentation because I just couldn't do it. We completely crashed the Wi-Fi in the whole hotel.
I suspect that's what's happened here because she just texted me then to say, she said, please send her apologies. She's going down to reception to speak to them now.
That's fine.
Aww.
It would be nice to have Claire in here because she's very effervescent about her and about her mission with Mission Positive. But I guess we've got her mum. And so hand it to you, Michelle.
Oh, yes. So I'm in the hot seat.
You're the hot seat.
Okay. Yes. Well, what I probably should do is very quickly get her mission statement for you, which tells you what she's trying to achieve. But basically, Claire's 18. I think like most teenagers, she's had her highs and lows through her life and faced actually quite a lot of challenges. And on New Year's Eve, she, I think, fairly much decided that 2012 was going to start with a really positive bang. And with her past acting experience, she'd been involved for about 6 years with acting, and her long-time career goal is actually to train children through dramatic arts, but to use it only as a medium to help help them to find their own strong values and beliefs in life. So from there, she came back from working part-time, which she does because she's a uni student, and said to me, I think I'd like to do something where we pay forward some sort of positivity. And so by the next morning, she got up and said, Mum, I'm going to do a YouTube on Mission Positive, and that's the name I'm giving it. And what I want people to do is to stop and think about something positive about themselves. Now, if I ask you to do that, personally, I think from a lot of people, that's really confronting because we tend to live in a world where we look at negativity and yes, sorry.
Just go on.
Just as for your benefit, I run one of the UK's largest body image campaigns, and I go
You
into
go.
schools because I only work for Voice part-time. I've taught 2,000 children self-esteem and body confidence since September. So I
Ah, you
run
need to
I
have that.
run loads of eating disorder charities and body image charities. So this kind of thing is all really my cup of tea. I give evidence in Parliament on young people and self-esteem and body confidence and stuff like that. So I could definitely share some insights with you on that one.
But
Oh, well,
when
look,
can we
I'd
find
love
you?
to
Where can we find
connect
you
with
online,
Claire.
Michelle?
Beg your pardon?
Where can we find it online? Do you have a YouTube
Yes,
channel, or
Claire
can you
has
put it in the
YouTube
chat?
channels. If you Google Mission Positive on
It's
YouTube,
on
Oh,
mission.
and also she has a Facebook page, Mission Positive as well. And in
okay.
fact, she had something special she wanted to launch tonight
I think
with
it's
you
waves.
that she hasn't let anybody else know yet.
Oh, wow.
Um, and it's a shame that hopefully she will get the opportunity to come on and join you. But she's decided to put together some get out of negativity free cards for her Facebook fans if they'd like to send their address to her, their postal address. She'll send out 5 of them, and on the back of the card it says, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same, and it's from Coach Carter in 2005.
Oh,
And
that's really nice.
the card is a get out of negativity free card. The idea is to pass on this positivity. So first of all, find something about yourself that you like about yourself. Don't be scared to say it. And what she's asked people to do, write it on a sheet of paper, hold it up in front of your face so you can be anonymous, and say what that is about you. I mean, whether it is I love being positive, or I've got a nice smile, or whatever that might be, and encourage others to do the same.
Okay. That's brilliant. I really like that. I like the tonality of her messages. That we hear so much negativity, and you just start watching the news, and it's just so depressing.
And
I
look,
really like.
I think they so often end up controlling us by fear, I guess, is my thoughts on it, because we do get bombarded with negativity. But one of the things that Claire said to me, she said 2011 was such a tough year globally. We had the mudslides in Chile, we had the tsunami in Japan, we had the earthquake in Christchurch in New Zealand, we had major flooding in Queensland, bushfires in Western Australia. Um, and look, that's not even touching on famine and homelessness and all those other things. That's just natural disasters. So 2011, with the economic crisis as well, has been a really tough year for a lot of people. And if I think her concept, or I know her concept, is to try and have us start to find some of the things that empower us to want to be able to take the next step the next morning, the things that pull you out of bed to get on the next day.
That is really good.
So I'm sorry that it's her mum that's told her story and not Claire herself, but you can find her on Facebook under Mission Positive, or her 2 YouTubes, which are both on start again, YouTube, Mission Positive in the search bar, and you'll find the interview with Peter G. McKenna from Google Plus in Tennessee, as well as Claire's own original YouTube video, and another one she will launch tomorrow.
I've just posted one of her videos in the chat window, so you can see it there, and I've tweeted it as well.
Thank you
So
very much.
So we're using the hashtag VSMB, which is Voice Social Media Breakfast. You will see it, or if you just, I'll just put the hashtag in the chat as well. So I'm usually making notes, so then afterwards people can connect on Twitter and on Google Plus as well. And on Google Plus as well, you can put this hashtag in and stuff comes up. Michael, what are you doing? How did you do that? Is that you doing? No, that's not you doing it. Sorry. Whose screen are we looking at? This is interesting. Okay. I like it's actually quite nice that her mom introduced the story, because I like to hear stories from someone else's point of view, because she's probably telling it all the time, but you know, it's nice to see someone else involved in it and feeling strongly about it.
Look, I'm incredibly proud of her, as you can imagine. When I had a look tonight at her YouTube, she's had in the 5 days that it's been up, 1,550 odd hits. And on Peter G. McKenna's YouTube posting of her interview with him, she's had 439 hits, and that's in 3 days. So
Nice.
for a young girl in suburbia in Brisbane, trying to make a difference globally, I'm very, very proud of her. It does come in a couple of parts. Step one is to take a photo of yourself with the message held up in front of your face, put that onto Facebook or email it to her at missionpositive@hotmail.com, and she loads that up onto Facebook. And then the second thing is she's going to pick a date where she's going to encourage people either to download off her Facebook page or to write their own positive statements to pass forward. So as you're walking through your workplace, you might do something like give somebody a little message that says, "I think you're really awesome," or "You've made my day," or "You always do nice things to help others." Little things like that, so that we can start spreading a wave of positivity globally in one day. My apologies, yes?
I don't think you should apologize. Don't be silly. I've tweeted.
It's very, very uplifting post. But
I think we should share more positive stories as well. You know, we have a lot of Nick and I work with so many charities who do really great work, and they're so scared of joining any social media channels to tell those stories. I mean, these stories are really great. We had an example of a friend of ours who works with solar power, and they basically sell those little solar lamps to African villages. And they started posting about it on Facebook, and people started posting back, you know, "I just got a lamp from my mum," and it was so moving to see someone who was affected by their work. And not talking about the fact that it really motivated their charity to do even more of the work they're doing. It's just great. You can't even predict how connecting with people online can help.
yeah.
Anna has joined us as well from. Are you based in France at the moment? She's working with the charities as well. She's doing social media. Sorry?
I'm in Paris. Can you hear me? I haven't heard. I'm in Paris at the moment, yes.
Brilliant.
So my first Google Hangout, so I think I will just
First
sit back
hangout.
and listen. Yeah. Thank you for invite.
Oh, that's very good. What do you do, Anna? What areas are you looking at, and what are you covering?
I work for a tech for a tech agency that's international. We just build things in digital for brands. We work with agencies, but also I have a personal interest in non-profit marketing. I consult with an organization in Poland, so I got them on social media. And I've just set up an organization here in France, just a small grassroots one. We're doing some things in Africa. So your story, Sylvia, that you just mentioned about, we are planning to do some things for a village in Kenya, and we're thinking of ways to connecting them via social media so that they can somehow have a voice in the fundraising efforts that we're doing here in Paris. So there was a very interesting example that you told us about the African village, about the lamps, the solar lamps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was really interesting to see it because it has changed. These guys were really not sure how to use Facebook fan page or any kind of a page online which allows people to comment and is public.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we all have our favorites, but Facebook happened to be in this case most popular to reach out the audience in those areas.
Exactly.
And we talked to the guy next day. He actually started sending out emails saying, "Did you see what happened with our fan page? This is so great. We're spending our months of work, and then suddenly you just have this one status update saying, my mum can finally read a book in the evening," and you're almost crying because it's that moving. It's just great.
There is also I will look up. There's also a charity, a social enterprise. There's this village project. I need to find it. And they actually put a camera in an African village.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so that community there could connect with people and in Europe all over the world. And it's a really interesting. I would try to look it up because it's also an inspiring example of how you can get the people in the developing country do their own social media, like give them a voice rather than just have a company somewhere else. Let me find that one. You probably guys know this one already.
There was a point where we've set up a LinkedIn group, so if you have anything, kind of the links you want to share about how nonprofits use social media and happen via LinkedIn, we have the team of people who join those hangouts there as well. But actually, I've just noticed that in terms of organizing this one, I'm very late, like last minute, I keep letting people know that we have a hangout. So I think I might set up a mailing list, which is just a Google group. Not to spam people, but just to let everyone know, look, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have a hangout. And that's it. So you have it in your inbox. I don't know yet. I'll think about it. But yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then we can pull off the clip at the end, which is the best bit.
Exactly. It's cool.
And then like highlight those stories, and which is the best bit about it, so that we can put it together. So we can highlight.
It's amazing what Micah can do with Google Hangouts. I'm just astonished. I keep learning from him all the time. And you're enjoying this, aren't you? Having lots of fun.
Yeah.
Nick is awfully quiet.
It's interesting he's not getting picture in picture with it. Nick's
Tell us.
hungover.
Aha, yawning. Oh. Hello, Ian. It's okay, David. No, you can stay. It's not private, really. It's public.
Hello.
It's public. Hello, Ewan. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Got something
Yep.
you want to talk about? You're more than welcome.
Sure. Just disturb us straight away.
Yeah.
Hold on. I need to mute myself and pick up the phone at home. No, it's okay. It's okay. I usually get automated calls on my landline, nothing else. Hey!
Okay.
We can hear you, Ian, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello!
Hello.
Ouch!
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can see you, we can hear you.
Yeah, so is everyone here with an NGO?
No. Well, in a way, yes. I think we all kind of do have different NGOs. I mean, like for example, I teach NGOs social media, but I also work for a citizen journalist kind of NGO called the Global Voices. I'll put it up because it's quite interesting. We were talking about news the other day, a different angle on news. This is what we do. It's an international network of people just delivering stories, but stories we write about how people react to the stories. So for example, there was a plane crash in Poland, and when I was writing about it, I was describing how people felt when the crash happened. I wasn't really writing about the facts. I was writing about how it affected the country, if that makes sense, just quoting what they say. So I'm trying not to be opinionated. I'm just trying to explain to the English speaking world how a particular country feels about something. And the network obviously has people in different countries. So if you're interested in, let's say, South Africa and what's happening there at the moment, then you can have some really interesting insights into that. It's
Yeah,
really cool.
I worked all over the former Soviet Union for many years. I worked at the Children of Chernobyl project. I set up probably a dozen or more organizations. I probably connected a good 20,000 to the internet over,
Brilliant.
6 or 7 years that we worked on the internet. But I designed the internet in Belarus, much of Ukraine, in Chechnya. I set it up. Been all over setting up the internet for the most part. But I also write projects, and I got an extremely good approval rating. In fact, it's the highest that anyone's seen that I know of. And I've been a special consultant with the United Nations since 1997. So,
Wow.
but I'm not working in nonprofits right now.
Okay. Well, can I ask a question about Belarus, because we have friends there? There's been, how do you manage problems with, how government is trying to restrict the internet in various countries?
Yeah, well, I designed the internet in Belarus, so I don't really run into that problem. They've never tried to restrict me.
Okay.
So I was the also registered a private business in Belarus. I was the first foreigner to register a private business as an individual.
Wow.
And I did that in 1995. So
that is amazing.
Yeah, as far as Belarus goes, it's a dictatorship, and I guess they're trying to clamp down on a large sector of the economy that's trying to use the internet illicitly. There's quite a few outsourcing companies that are paying nothing in taxes, and so they've come up with some pretty draconian laws, but nothing in comparison to what the United States is doing, or Australia, for example.
Really?
Belarus has blocked 35 sites. Most of them are pornography related. And if you look at Australia, for example, it's 2,500 sites or something like this. And many of them are simply alternative news sources. So, yeah, it's a different ball game. I was an election monitor in 96 or 97 when they had the referendum that would let Lukashenko continue on as president. And, I thought most of the people were genuinely for it. I think a lot of that's changed since then. So,
yeah.
He's certainly the last dictator, but as far as the axis of evil goes, I mean, Bush has called Belarus the axis of evil, but I just don't see it. Belarus hasn't made any aggressive stance. They've turned over all their nuclear weapons to Russia. So
yeah,
it's more the fact that Belarus did not accept IMF funding. It did not privatize all its corporations to foreign investors, and so it's on the bad book of the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the other international banking cartel that makes a habit of going into these countries and destroying them. It's very well known that Mikhail Gorbachev and Maurice Strong were well connected and organized the fall of the Soviet Union, and did such in a manner that created complete economic havoc Why? So that they could come in later and buy up all the resources and companies. That's the big push from 1993 on to 97 was to privatize. If you look at countries like Ukraine, you know, they disenfranchised the people from their own property, which were the government corporations. You know.
So how in that atmosphere do you see NGOs functioning? Do you have to do anything with
Look, I
the
think
web content?
you know, if you're a political NGO, you're probably going to have problems in this Belarus or Uzbekistan. And the only difference is that the United States supports wholeheartedly the Uzbekistan government, but not Belarus. And the only difference is one's subjected itself to the New World Order and the other one hasn't.
Yeah.
You know, if you go into Uzbekistan and start going, the president sucks, you're going to get the same reaction, if not worse, because it's government sanctioned by the United States, for example. You know, I think you'll find that in a lot of places. I really think that there's good reason for that. Now, if you look at what George Soros was doing in Belarus, you know, certainly Soros's actions constitute, you know, a threat to the national sovereignty of the country. So, you know, I understand their mindset. I, as a 24-year-old, I was 25 actually, was able to go to the Department of Education. People opened their doors for me. I know the minister at the time. I went to the Ministry of Communication. Uh, the minister met me on my first visit and assigned a person to me, and I worked with them for 6 months. So, you know, as far as being an NGO, I think you got a genuine, you know, better mankind type of thing.
Yeah. Do you know why I'm
you're not
asking
going to
you?
have the issues. I think
Do you
if
know
you're
why
there
I'm asking?
pressing religion or politics, then you're going to have issues in a lot of countries. So
I think it's an interesting topic because what we're seeing in the UK at the moment when we talk to NGOs, generally speaking, is that because of the cuts after the recession, you know, you have different waves of recession. There are generally the dependency of the government on the government funds starts to be questioned, and you see increasingly, and I think technology has a huge role in that. NGOs or not any charities, for example, using technology more wisely to actually reach out to people, to donors, to fundraise, to become more independent from the government.
yeah,
And
I think
I'm
this is
just wondering
totally.
if that's the kind of growing trend. And you also see a lot of commercial entities trying to support charities because it really looks good on them.
I
So
actually
those
made the
boundaries
website
are,
for World Vision. I don't know if you've heard of this organization. It is one of the
yes,
largest charities in the world.
yeah.
It's several $100 million. I made the first website for them in '97, I think, and you know, that proved to change the dynamics because you know, prior to that, World Vision was writing grants for government organizations, funds, and you would write a grant and you would you know, propose this, and you're talking about a, you know, 30, 90-day cycle for grant approval, some kind of contest or, you know, a review process. Whereas looking towards individuals and direct marketing for donations allowed them to create a much larger uh, non-earmarked fund that allowed them to you know, develop into a more reactive organization. The World Vision business model was highly developed around sponsoring a particular child. And I think with the internet, what they've seen is previously they were using, you know, direct mail, photographs of the child, you know, will you sponsor them? And prior to that, they, you know, prior to getting on the internet, uh, they almost always had the money that was donated earmarked, and now they've got a different thing. As far as World Vision goes, I will tell you personally, if you think you're sponsoring a small child somewhere, yeah, you're not. And sorry, hate to pop your bubble there, but yeah, it's. I think maybe if you gave $10, then maybe 25 cents is actually making it to the child. But, 25 cents, what I have seen from this, and I actually worked with World Vision on a project in Chernobyl. There's several villages inside the zone,
Yeah.
and these are, very pitiful places. They don't have the agriculture because the food's toxic. And,
Yeah.
the schools are asphalted all the way around them. People don't walk on the grass. It's a very difficult situation, and they asked me to write a project, where they would get into sponsoring these children. But what I did, it was a little bit different. Is instead of them allocating the money to the organization and providing some sponsorship to the boy there, I actually arranged for people to sponsor these children to a summer camp.
Brilliant.
And it was 900 children. It took me 3 months to go and photograph them and interview them and translate that all into English. It was a one-man project, and I got these 900 children's biographies, sent them to South Korea, and World Vision South Korea found the funding to buy a summer camp in Moldova, which is not too far away. And so these kids would actually spend their summers. They would be in this, Chernobyl zone during the school year, but in the summer they could go for a month at a time
That's great.
to a summer camp. So
That's great. So you say it was one-man project. How much kind of working hours did you spend the whole entire period of time just working on
well,
that?
you're
Or?
traveling into the zone. Now, here's the thing: when you go into these areas, that you can't drive your car in there. You need to find someone that's a local because uh, the the radiological conditions there are such that you can take a step in the wrong spot and your car becomes radioactive. So you
Yeah.
either have someone that's there and they drive around, and so more or less it was a trip into the zone. It took me about 3 months
Mm.
to get to do it all. I made trips to particular schools, and there are normally several hundred students, and then I would spend a good couple, 2 3 weeks going through all the information and putting it into English. To waiting for the pictures to come back to make portfolios. This is a bit before the digital camera age, so
Yeah.
yeah, and getting your film developed in Belarus is a different thing.
Yeah. Gosh, sounds like a very big. How did you document the stories of the kids when they went on holidays as well?
What I did is no, I didn't actually. I wrote the project, and
Oh,
the
okay.
project was actually written and financed, and I never saw any of the kids again. It's been going on for 10 years as well, or even more now. So
Are they online somewhere?
these children,
Like the project itself, can we find out about it
I would
online?
know. I stopped working
Oh,
with
okay.
World Vision, so I wrote the project and it continues. A lot of the stuff that I did is I wrote the project or I did the design, and I didn't actually participate in the actual.
Execution, yeah.
Yeah, I designed the internet in Belarus, but I never connected any wires anywhere.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
I submitted to the Source Foundation my proposal, and at the same time submitted it to the Department of Education and the Ministry of Information. They overruled Soros Foundation,
Mm.
and Soros overruled all the people that had provided projects, different solutions for connecting the internet, and essentially it was a consensus that my design would work at best. And what happened there was, they implemented my design, and I pretty much went on to other projects. So,
Okay.
and that's the way it was with the Children in Chernobyl project for World Vision. I worked on several projects for them. I worked with prenatal care, which is was greatly lacking in the area, and I worked all over the former Soviet Union on that. I worked in their Chechnya project, and I worked in their Children in Chernobyl project. So
Mm-hmm.
But I've worked with about 40 NGOs, and I'm best known for being able to write good projects and getting the money that I ask for. So
Cool. Cool.
rarely do they not give me the money. So
I have a similar question to Anna. Anna is in France. I've asked you about the NGOs in France. How they're using Google Plus and other technologies. Do you see them increasingly coming online?
To be honest, Google Plus is not. I can't really tell you much about Google Plus.
Hello?
Oops,
Hiya.
Hi.
is that okay? My big project is to look this weekend at the Google
Yay!
Plus and how French NGOs are using it to look into ideas. Uh,
Does that
I don't, the problem is I don't, I can't really say much about France
is
because
that the
I
best you
work
were
against
expecting,
NGOs,
hoping
it's
for?
Poland or UK or international. So, but if you guys are interested, when I do my research this weekend, I will send you some links. So, because
Please
I'm
do.
trying to crack it for the little
Oh
group
well,
that I
that's
started and to see what's happening
that's the beginning of
in France at the
financial
moment.
management.
So yeah. So if there is this LinkedIn group, I will send some interesting links.
Brilliant, thank you. Because we had a chat with a
Mm.
few people from France who were saying, in terms of Google Hangouts, that there is a very robust Google Plus community in France.
Okay,
But the people
wow.
we were talking to, they were more of kind of arts community and bloggers and people who just have various passions. We didn't come across anyone who works in NGO
No,
sector.
I haven't, but like I said, I haven't really did yeah, discover much,
Yeah.
spend much time on Google Plus yet.
So what are the NGOs using? Is it Facebook?
Facebook. In
Okay.
France, Facebook is a big one, and most people I would say are using Facebook. Twitter is more for like we say art, art, transmedia, creative industries.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. I'm also interested in what they're doing on Google Plus, the creatives in France, how they're using it. But Facebook is big. That's the biggest one.
Well, we talked to what's her name? Samantha, is she? The girl who's doing she's painting in on Google Hangouts. So she's creating her art
Okay.
while you can actually watch her doing it on the Google Hangout. So I think that
All
was quite
right.
interesting.
Is she from? Is she based in France?
She is, yes, and she actually became so popular that she told us that she asked her Google Hangout community, Google Plus community, to sponsor her to go to the web, and she managed to find funds for it.
Okay.
So it was quite
I'll
an
have to check it
amazing
out.
story. Yeah.
No, I'm
Um,
really like I'm very fresh in terms of Google Plus. So yeah, that's my first hangout today, like I said. So and I'm quite impressed. So we'll definitely look into it, and we'll let you know if I find some interesting non-profit case studies from here.
Great stuff. We'll be we started talking about child sponsorship before we talked about while we were talking about the project in Chernobyl, and I know that for example I'm in touch with a girl who's at Action Aid UK,
Hmm.
and they do child sponsorship as well. And what I've noticed is that actually they do something interesting. They invite bloggers to their offices, as in for physical events. So occasionally, let's say every 2 months, they invite bloggers to talk about how this new technologies could be used for the charity, which I think it's quite an interesting one. And we'll
Yes.
be going next week to see how it works. They've invited me to um, present 5 top blogging tips, which is quite a hard one because I don't know what my top 5 would be.
Mm. I know also Save the Children in UK. Are they doing the
May
same
I
thing?
ask? What,
Sorry, Michelle,
Sorry.
I can't hear
no,
you
sorry, I
right.
was just going to ask, what sort of bloggers would they call on? Would they be specific to a topic or just
Yes,
bloggers in
yes.
general?
Yes, they have different topics. So, for example, obviously at the moment they're inviting mother bloggers because they're doing child sponsorship. If they have women issues, then they want to invite bloggers who are working in this area. If they're doing something with mental health, like Nick is doing it, they will probably invite bloggers like Nick who write about that. So it's topic related. So when you come to the event, let's say there's 20 people, you can actually it's a value to you as a blogger because you can meet someone who's very similar to you and connect with them physically, which is always much better than online. But
That's
what
a
Anna said,
sensational idea.
it's we've been doing this in the past for different types of bloggers for people to connect, but I think
Yes.
for a charity it's really good to, it's almost like saying we don't know how to do it, why don't you help us, and then we'll do it in the right way. I really like this attitude. But Anna mentioned Save the Children, and Save the Children here in the UK were amazing because they were the first charity to get on Google Plus as a page. And because they were the first one and there was this huge hype that evening when the pages were released, they had about 70,000 people adding them to circles the next day. I was shocked. I've not seen a commercial brand doing that, but that was because they were the first ones.
Yeah.
And we've actually later on asked them why they did it. It's just because the person who's behind their Google account is a geek and just wanted to be there in the first place.
Fantastic.
And they said, even though Google Plus is not very popular for them, it gave them a huge exposure on the brand because they were there first. And then next day you could see, first evening you could see 2 or 3 different Greenpeace accounts, and then next day you could see all the Greenpeace countries joining, having their pages, and next day was completely different. It was very active, but the first evening were only few charities, at least here, who joined Google Plus as a page again, not as a profile. But I think people, I don't know if Nick will agree, people are still wary of Google Hangouts because it's you can see us, you can see our
I
house.
took a Hangout Virgin round it the other day, and she was like, whoa, because she's a psychotherapist, and I specialise in helping mental health organisations embrace digital tools. I'm probably still the only psychotherapist in the country that uses Facebook groups for diary keeping with young people in private spaces, so they can, because it's a network they're on already, it gives them a fantastic use of a tool that they're on already. If I give them a paper diary, they're not going to write it for me. So if I use Facebook, I also have that live real-time thing so I can assess risk at the same time while I'm doing it with them. And I'm also going to start piloting closed hangouts with my young people group to do group therapy with them in a digital space. So it's quite new stuff, and I'm in the middle of developing training courses which will be running through Voice for psychotherapists in the UK on it, and I have been invited to talk at a couple of events on digital uses in psychotherapy and how we can embrace these tools to kind of embrace therapeutic work as well as just awareness raising, because it's important that we look at it cross spectrum.
And your
Sounds really
website
my
looks
coffee now.
sensational, Nick. Your
Sorry?
website looks sensational.
Oh, thank you. It's I like the variety of all these different bits and bobs and stuff, and somehow, some way, all these different things I do manage to join together. I still don't know quite how that happened, but it happened.
I told you didn't listen to me. I had to convince Nick to do that. He wanted to have a few separate blogs.
Well,
I'm
I
glad
did
to
have
hear
a few
that.
separate blogs for a while, and then Sylvia changed my life because I love her.
Oh, would you stop that? I didn't.
That's one of your top 5 tips, maybe, Sylvia.
Actually, that's a good idea. What would you guys suggest as top 5 blogging tips? I'm really confused. I don't know what to say. There's just so much. I mean, gosh.
I think the biggest tip for anybody is be open and honest. Don't hide your thoughts. Be brutal. If you're writing, you might as well do it in your own voice, in your own style, and do it completely honestly and completely open. There's no point pussyfooting around a subject if you're going to decide to write about it.
Maybe I just wonder if I should be very specific and give them some little tips, or if I should be more kind of focusing on generally how to be a blogger. I don't know what approach to take.
Who is your target audience? Are they already blogging, or are you?
They are. That's the trouble. They already
Okay.
blog. They're mother bloggers. So I'm talking to people who are already converted, and I don't know how to suggest something that can be really valuable for them. Maybe actually what we're doing now, to try different tools that can kind of expand their networks outside of what they're doing now, just to make sure they have some kind of visual content, promote their blog in social spaces like Google Plus. I really don't know. At the moment, I'm still at the stage of brainstorming. I have time till next Thursday, but if you have any ideas, do let me know, because I'm lost.
Not lost, are you?
You're not
No,
lost. You have lots of experience, and I think if they already blogging, that means I mean they will really appreciate a personal experience. So maybe I don't know, just
maybe.
as a suggestion, maybe if you go from your blogging experience and what were the 5 most important things that you learned for yourself, people always appreciate.
Probably there's one thing that I'm really upset about recently is the fact that some people in the UK, especially in the non-profit sector, they started calling blog posts blogs.
Yeah,
And
I've
I even
seen.
blogged about it. I was so upset because it's just
Mm.
so confusing. It's just wrong. It's not right. And
Well,
yeah.
like I said in my blog yesterday, or no? Have
As
you
in, for example, I wrote 2 blogs, and
Okay.
really meaning I wrote 2 blog entries.
Okay.
So it's really confusing. So you meet someone and they're a starting blogger or a starting person online, yeah? And they say, oh, imagine I wrote 3 blogs recently. And you think, wow,
Oh.
3 months ago you were not online at all. Now you've run 3 blogs. I'm impressed. How did you do that? As opposed to, I wrote 3 blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, oh, that's great. It's a great start. You kind of talk about 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be this new trend of saying blogs. It's cooler, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's just,
Confusing.
it's very confusing. And as a linguist, I'm a linguist originally, and a teacher as well, I get really traditional about it. Because if we have a term, then we don't need to reinvent it. We don't need to have a new name for it. Let's just leave it. It's not cool to change it for me.
Yeah.
And actually, that's an interesting thing for people who work in technology. Very often, it's a very good sign to recognize people who are beginning bloggers. If they say blogs as opposed to blog posts, you can quite quickly work out that they're just starting because they don't know that it's. So there's, for example, you're a social media marketer as well. There's lots of people who are so-called self-claimed specialists, and they blog since 1 year, and they blog about being great social media strategists or social media professionals, and then they say blogs instead of blog posts, which is a very good indication of there's something wrong in that. And very often I have a client who's an NGO who has a big budget, and they spend that budget on people who are not necessarily experienced enough. So it's kind of, it's a mixture of whether it's good or not, because it's a good test to find out whether people are really experienced or not. But on a daily basis, it's very confusing. Again, I'm not sure if it's relevant to mom bloggers. I mean, why would they be bothered about it? For them, probably other issues are more important. I don't know. Because in the UK there's a big kind of excitement about mother bloggers. So people want to, work with them a lot. Is that happening in your countries? So do you have like strong networks of mother bloggers helping charities? Not really, no. It's probably something local.
Not that I'm aware of in Australia.
Okay.
No, I'm not aware of France either. It's I know a few mom bloggers, but they're more Americans in Paris kind of blogs. But I don't think it doesn't look like a big trend. No.
Sorry, I'm just saving our chat because there's some links, and if you switch off the chat, I'm going to lose it. And my Google has once thrown me out from the previous Hangouts. So I'm really paranoid about losing all the links we've got in here. I wish Google Hangouts had an option of saving chat. That's what I'm missing. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see those charities inviting bloggers. And actually what ActionAid did as well, they took bloggers with them to I think it was Brazil, to the carnival, to see how their local offices are making the most of the carnival to help children as well. So they basically took bloggers who could tell the story as if they were journalists, to go there with them And I think it was very interesting because bloggers are very opinionated. So, they're very, unlike journalists, they don't have the editing process there. They just say what they see, and they're very emotional about it. So the messages and blog posts that were created out of that, not mentioning about the fact that they did a lot of photos, videos, and so on, could
So,
work for the charity
Sylvia,
better.
I
Yes?
just wanted to, you know Craig, don't you? Craig's got a game that he's using in Hangouts.
Yes.
And so
Hello?
it'd be really interesting to have Craig explain how it works.
Hello.
Put him on the spot.
Very smooth. I like that. I'm quiet now. Your turn. Can't hear you. We cannot hear you, I think.
I think his volume's out, so that's alright. Things happen. So, Darlene, what's your story? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just having audio. It's alright.
So, Michael, what can you tell us about Craig while he's trying to connect?
Craig's come up with a game format, not unlike an old blankety blanks or it's a word game. I think, what was the other one? Blanky blanks or we used to have it here years ago. Michelle's popped out, hasn't she? Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
just a
she was
word
saying
game,
goodnight.
and it's just really interactive. And they went for a couple of hours last week as a great thing. I think he's in now. I can hear his mic.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
You're right.
I'm new to this Google thing.
Yeah, right.
I got this new iMac and everything was hooked up on the PC. I didn't have the wire switched over. So what do you want to know about, Michael? What do you want me to talk about?
Just about your game and your experience with last week, and how it actually is coming about, and what you're learning, and just a few bits and pieces around that. So it's up to you.
Why do we have the echo? Where is it coming from?
Me.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
It's just me.
I'm not new to these video webcam, not hangouts, but group gatherings. I mean, they've been in existence for a couple of years. It's just that Google's doing their own spin on it by having 10 video windows on at one time. There are networks like Stickcam. You can have 6 video windows. That's been around for a while. Blog TV is one that was really heavy on. That was one of their, I don't know, I guess you call them broadcasters, but I was heavy on that from 2007 late to 2008. And one thing I noticed, and they had a contest in 2008 and 2009 where the broadcaster, or whoever had the, I guess I should just say hangout, whoever had the video window, if you had the most viewers, you could win a trip around the world. So me being an older guy, middle-aged, 40s, I'm competing against these 20-year-old girls and stuff. I mean, you can see where I'm going at here, right? I mean, it's harder for a guy to come up with something. So what it does make you do is, okay, I need to create content that every age would like if I'm going to compete against a younger crowd, attractive crowd and stuff like that. Because there was a lot of things going on that any 4-year-old cannot compete against. So it got me thinking about how can I use webcam and video and new media and stuff to be entertaining to a group like this. So I started doing game shows. I started creating and writing these software programs and do game shows. So I would take like common ones like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, stuff like that, and then I would put my own twist on it. So that way you don't have the copyright issues. So it's similar, but you have to design the game so everybody in the room can work. So eventually I could have 300 or 500 people in a chat room and I'm on the video, but you have to make the game so all 500 people can play at the same time. Now I see other people, and so what I did is I've been in Hangouts for a couple months, and I said, you know what, I want people are tired of talking about how to monetize Hangouts because you hear that conversation all over the place. Everybody talks about Google Plus in Google Plus. It's like, how about let's do something else. Let's get away from all that. Let's have some fun, because how else are you going to get people to leave Facebook, come over here? So I said, well, let me try these game shows. So I brought them over here, and then I realized that Google's video dimensions, everything are completely different than Ustream and everybody else. So I had to go back and redo everything. So then I obviously did it, and then everybody liked it because people are new to webcam video chat. So that's now I did notice that some people are using like PC programs like Jeopardy and stuff, and they're just doing screen captures. But the problem with when you use Price is Right and stuff like that, these ready-made software programs are only made to use 3 people at one time. So everybody else has to sit there, and I guess if they're entertained in watching other people play, that's great. But it doesn't allow everybody in the room to play at one time. So those people have done that on Blog TV and Ustream before, and I see they just don't get the amount of traffic that, and you just lose the interaction. This Hangout thing is all about everybody interacting at one time. If like me blabbering here for the last minute or two, it's not allowing you guys to do anything. So the games that I do, I've developed games that don't work, and I'll spend like a month developing a game. I go in there and try it. It completely bombs. It doesn't work, and then I throw it away. It's like a whole month of work just gone. But that's how you find out. So my games are popular, I think, just because of that. And I ended up winning that contest, by the way, the trip around the world. I ended up beating all those 18-year-old girls and all the cleavage and all that. I beat them all because I had content, and that's the I could write a whole article probably. Content is always king, and that proved it. Sure. It doesn't matter if you're a 60-year-old or whatever. You have content, you'll beat out the superfluous, typical American crap. Anyway, does that explain?
So, where are you based at the moment?
I'm sorry?
Where are you based?
I'm in the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay. Oh, I might be going there.
I'm in the Washington, D.C. You are coming here?
I might be going to the Transparency Camp in April. I really, 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 really hope so. But let's see.
Yeah, so it's only 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm having my morning coffee. I came in here just to listen to you guys talk. I didn't expect to have to say. I love coming in and just listening to people.
Wow. He's making pizza. He's joined us to make a pizza with us.
I like it. See, that's good stuff. People that do cooking shows are really good too. And then when they actually interact with the audience, there's a lot of things you could learn from other places like Blog TV, see what they're doing. You could bring it here and do extremely well.
I want to do, Michael, we were talking about doing coffee mornings on Saturday morning because I started blogging about coffee, and I hope that people like Marco will join in who can actually make proper espresso to show us how to do it. Because when I'm doing my own stuff at home, but obviously I tried to make one of those cappuccinos with stars on the top of it. You don't want to know. It just looked terrible. I couldn't even take a photo of it. It looked like a little, anyway.
A half melted snowflake?
No, it looked like a little baby. It looked like a little human being in a cup. It was just so terrifying when I took a photo of it. And I tried different filters on Instagram, and nothing was helping. And I just gave up and cried and blogged about what a rubbish coffee maker I am. Yeah, so we'd love to learn that stuff. Oh God, he's making me really hungry now.
And baking bread.
That's another thing I can't do. I can make really complicated dishes, but there's this basic stuff that can go wrong in our kitchen. saying that, did I show you my mug? My coffee mug?
Oh,
It's
that's
like
pretty good.
Nick and Lenses, which is my favorite brand as well.
All right.
So, sorry guys, I can't focus. I'm looking at this pizza all the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at pizza too. I'm going to bring it up on the main screen. So we're watching pizza being
No!
made. It's on the main screen now. This looks good. This is just appetito for lunch.
Let me have a look.
It's
On a
so,
live stream.
so good.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
So
the
good.
chippies.
fries. Seasoned.
Oh god.
For lunch.
Now where's Marco? Where is he based?
You'll have to find it.
See, that's the other thing I hate about the hangout with extras. You still can't click on the names. That's
No.
annoying.
Whereabouts, Marco?
It's
In Italy. In a bar. Where in Italy?
Customers.
Oh,
West of Venice. Oh, he's near PO's.
Oh, we're going to Venice next Friday. How cool is that? It's like second
you can
person
go
on
and
Google Plus
see
this week.
Marco.
We're meeting. Yeah. Where is it exactly, Marco? What's the name of the place you're in? Don't tell me it's...
Verona or something, isn't it? Vicenza.
Google Maps.
Put the map up for us.
It's very close
Okay.
to Verona. Okay, it's halfway between Verona and Venice. Okay.
My experience in there was one of the best homemade minestrones. Was just we stopped overnight on a tour bus, and just before we went into Venice, and it was just really lovely place to go and do. And it was just a little club, the little cafe, and it looked like a dive, but it had the best food. And it makes to get that really nice home cooked food for 20 or 30 hungry travellers is really great.
It is, isn't it? I mean, you can get so much good food in Italy. It's just amazing. I always go there, come back, and I have to start exercising, going back to the gym. It's just can't stop myself. Anna, do you still blog about kind of places to go out to in Paris? Because you used to
Well,
write
that's
a
my
really good
big
blog about Paris.
resolution to start it again this year. I've become a very lazy blogger, and I moved from from blogging to Facebooking. So
Okay.
and I mean, it's in Polish, and lots of Facebook in Poland is so big now. People are actually interacting more on Facebook, but I miss it. I really like it because it's also, Paris is still kind of new for me, so it gives me motivation to go and find nice places. So
That's true.
yeah, so I made a declaration to go back to it, but just now need to act
So
on
what's
it.
your favourite place, Anna?
Sorry, I didn't.
What's your favorite place?
My favorite place in Paris. I don't really have a favorite place in Paris. I kind of like just your average French brasserie when you get that. I'm a meat eater, and I like to get a steak tartare, and like, so there's a few, like a couple of traditional ones that I really like. But no, I don't have a one place, but I would go back to all the time. So, and then there is the thing that in Paris, to be honest, lots of typical French places, very, very much the same. So made the same fare for the tourists, and
Around Paris, yeah, like the left bank and all the rest of it. So,
oh, you mean a part of Paris?
yeah,
Yeah,
which
left
part of
bank.
Paris?
Yeah, that
Montmartre.
Saint-Germain-des-Prés. That's that part, or
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been in Paris.
because in Paris was the big thing. Are you the left bank or the right bank person? So
Really?
yeah, it's a
So, are you
left
a left
bank.
bank?
It's more. I prefer left bank, but it's not. But now it's supposed to be the right bank is supposed to be the cooler one. So
Really?
it's
Wow.
more happening. The left bank is a little bit more laid back, and old little streets and
Hold on,
market.
hold on. Which side are we counting from? If I look at the map and I look at the
If you look at the
student
map,
quarter.
the left bank is the south of Paris, so it's that
Okay. All right. Okay.
Latin Quarter. It's the fifth and
So
sixth
that's the one I know.
arrondissement. It's it's
Okay.
like all the cafes and Sorbonne and that studenty part.
There's a
And
little cute student pub where I got drunk in when I went there as a student called Ludi, a tenor. It used to be. Hold on. 9 years ago. I'm talking
Okay.
rubbish. Probably it's not even there anymore. But it was very cute because it's very small. And what I really liked about it is that people were forced to sit very close to each other and ended up talking to complete strangers just because they were so
yeah,
close
and you
to each
get
other.
these tiny little tables where you have no
Yeah.
choice. You are sitting next to people. Yeah. Some
But
people
it's a
like
good
it, some
idea.
people don't. But yeah.
I like that idea.
So
So Micah, what's your best local place?
We live by
Where
a
do you
river,
go for a coffee?
so I've got several. But part of what I do during the day is go and visit as many nice places as I can, and so lots of highway, and there's plenty of food around. So, and a lot of it's just seasonal stuff that we follow through as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that adds the flavour of it. But some of it's actually the home cooking too. We have some people from Serbia that have a little cafe, and their food's always great. We have a little Lebanese guy that makes great kebab, some of the best. And just go and find those really great places to go and eat at. But if I want a coffee, I'll graze for coffee. We'll just find what's around. And there are better places, and there's places that just bulk it out and you just go, yeah, rightio, I'll have one of those just for now. But,
Yeah, it's really interesting because I need to write about it somewhere because increasingly I started the coffee blog over Christmas because I promised myself to be offline and rest, which is kind of paradox, and I decided to write about
and you
coffee.
started the blog.
And I started the blog. This just proves what a geek I happen to be sometimes. But the point is, it is something I really like, and I don't know much about it. And I want to have a coffee plantation in Mexico one day, so I thought I might just give it a go. But what I'm saying is, because we're talking about charities, it doesn't really matter what's the story. And Craig mentioned about the content. It's the content that connects people, because since I started writing it, I talked to many people who I work with, even at charities, who suddenly realized how important coffee is in their lives and what amazing stories they've got. Like, I'll give you an example from yesterday. My boss, we went together to London, and when you get on the train in Oxford, there's an AMT coffee. You might have seen it somewhere on my Twitter. I keep posting photos from it. Turns out that it's the first UK-based company that went full fair trade, and I didn't even know about it. I buy coffee from them every day, and actually, my boss wrote he was so happy about the quality of the coffee when they opened that stand, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, that he wrote to the railway station manager, to say thank you for letting the AMT to be there. And that letter saved their permission extension to 2 years later or 1 year later. And you just hear those really random, amazing stories about people who just, you work with on a daily basis, simply because I started the blog. And it's just almost like an excuse to start a conversation, which is something really hard to explain to charities if they don't do any of the social media stuff. That it really doesn't matter what you're saying and how you're saying it, as long as it's something valuable for people to connect. Oh God, I can't stop looking at this pizza stuff. I know what I'm going to have for dinner today.
pizza.
Why is there a pizza?
Because we're in an
Because-
Italian pizza shop.
Because Mark is in an Italian pizza shop and he wants to join us from there, and she showed us how
Oh,
to make
I
it.
phased out. I was listening, not watching, and doing other bits at the same time, so I kind of didn't see that there was
You missed out on
pizza.
about 15 minutes of pizza making. Come on.
Yeah, but that's just going to make me insanely hungry. And
Haha.
there's no food in the house, and I can't be bothered to walk to the shop.
Terrible. No, we were talking about, telling stories and teaching, because that's another thing that we're all, I'm assuming most of us here in the Hangout are very used to technology. And someone told me the other day, the real trick when you talk to non-profits is to step out of your own box and think about how it feels when people just start using those technologies and they have a completely different attitude towards just start. I mean, Google Hangout is probably the most, can I say that it's the most sophisticated experience you can have online at the moment in terms of how complicated it is, because you connect through video and audio and chat, and it's a pretty complex experience for someone who's worried about Twitter, for example, or doesn't even have internet on their phone. That pizza looks so good.
It does.
I kind of want it, like, now.
Thing is, he's not even talking in the meantime, he's just making it.
Isn't it great?
Can we have it up on the big screen?
You can have it on the big screen.
On the live stream, it's on a big screen, I think.
Yeah, you can have it on the big screen.
That's amazing.
Craig, what are you doing at the moment? Are you putting any activities on the Hangouts? Are you trying Hangouts for anything?
No, I'm doing some photoshopping on the middle. I have this new iMac. I'm also getting used to it, but iMac here, that I have two 27-inch monitors on both sides. So I'm working on the left screen right now while I'm listening to you guys.
Cool. No, I mean generally nowadays. Are you using Google Hangouts for some kind of engaging games?
I'm right. I just hang out a lot. I'm very regular on here, as some people here know. But the games thing I just started actually tonight. American time, Eastern time. We're doing games at 8 o'clock tonight. So it'd be like 1 a.m. GMT, I think, for you, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Overseas. But actually, this is all part of something bigger later on, hopefully this fall, that I've been working on. And I just started a radio show yesterday here in the United States. Yesterday was my first show.
Really?
And then it's at a public access station. And then right next to they're gutting out the radio studio now. And then right on the other side of the wall is a TV studio. I'm going to merge the two together and then also bring in Google Hangouts at the same time to do a TV show. So that won't start till this fall. You got to go through a lot of baby steps to work up to that because it's such a big project. So
where do you get the content for this for the station? What is the kind of the topic?
It's just a public access station. Means anybody can go in there. Once you take the classes and everything and they certify you, you can go in there and have any TV show you want.
That's so cool. I like it.
But yeah, I don't know if they have that overseas or not. It's allows community to so a lot of churches do things. There's political shows, but you can do anything you want.
It's not my area, so I wouldn't know. I'm more into photojournalism, so it's kind of a bit different. It's more static. You don't.
Yeah, and so you can go in there, like I can go in there and do a 1-hour radio show. And I talked about Google Hangouts a lot yesterday, but since it was the first show and it's in a backup studio while they're building one, it was really awkward. So I don't want to get too fancy with Google Plus and everything till I'm in the brand new studio and I can be comfortable, because I wouldn't need any technical issues going on. But the nice thing about American public access, if you have that in your area, is you can go in there and do anything. You don't have all the restrictions of the corporations above you telling you what you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's where you can really experiment and try new things. And so I'm on 3 cable networks, and you can listen to it online. It streams live on the internet.
Brilliant.
Too, so anybody around the world can do it.
Brilliant. That's very cool. It's the audio stuff is pushing my own personal boundaries. I'm very much of a textual person originally, and the video is Google Hangouts are okay because we're all used to Skype calls and stuff like that. But podcasting and audio is still, I don't know. I had a conversation about it last summer with a few bloggers who do a lot of podcasting, and it's a question probably of a training as well. I don't like to hear my own voice. It's just,
Yeah, I know.
I get stuck there.
No, I understand that, and you have to get used to that. And one thing, the reason why I'm pushing so hard, and I've been doing this for a couple of years, is like in America, all the TV sets that they have coming out have internet built into them.
Mm-hmm.
The regular broadcast TV is going away.
Yeah.
This stuff right here, or if you just stream on your own webpage, like Anna does a blog, if she did a video show about France and Paris and things like that, just doing her blog verbally or on a video as well, you could, Americans, I'm sure around the world the same thing. They're releasing the TVs in Vegas at the Consumer Electronics Show this week.
Mm-hmm.
They can pull up your blog right on the TV and watch your show as if they're watching CNN or BBC or anything like that. So the more that bloggers and everybody starts getting used to doing video and audio, especially video, whether you're sitting in front of just sitting here doing what we're doing now, that's where everything's going. And if people can pull up your video without having to come to the computer, they can do it on your TV, on their TVs. People are looking for content. They're tired of the standard, typical corporate, watching Big Brother and stuff. Yeah. This is Big Brother right here. The TV show Big Brother. I mean, you can't get any more reality than this. Us just hanging out in here or sitting in front of your TV with a Microsoft Kinect has the video camera on there. They're sitting on their couch doing a hangout without even a laptop. That's what we're going to have that this fall.
But saying that, you see, it's really amazing to talk to you guys who do it quite often, because I have time restrictions because of my work, and actually the coffee blog helps me a lot because I see a lot of materials, and hopefully I'm talking about it as an excuse, but it does push me. Like, for example, in the office we have a guy who comes with a van every 10 o'clock in the morning bringing coffee, and I already agreed with him that next Tuesday, which reminds me I have to go to Oxford Tuesday, Nick, I'm supposed to interview him on the phone because he doesn't have much time. He has like 5 minutes to make the coffee and he has to go to the next office. Or for example, go to a coffee shop and record a video on how they make a perfect espresso, what they think is important to make a perfect espresso. There's stuff like that online, but there's hardly anything.
You could make a quick, remember the video attention span on YouTube is 2 minutes. You can make a quick video using your iPhone or your smartphone, or a lot of these small cameras now have video on them now. You can just click the video thing. You could sit here and hold it behind here, and you're talking to it, and then you go up to the guy, he's at his coffee cart, and say, hey, meet da-da-da, and show him making your cup of coffee or something like that, and hey, we're going to interview him next week in more detail, but I just want you to, very casual, and that way it doesn't come across as fake. That's just a little idea, and you can post on your blog.
Michael mentioned BAMuser. BAMuser is taking over the live streaming market from Quick nowadays in the UK because they have a better quality video. So I stopped using my proper Nikon camera, and I stopped taking my digital kind of video camera because I have everything on my iPhone. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of having a good connection, I guess, and plugging it into the blog. But again,
you preload it. So you preload it up. And you preload it and then get home and then load it up when you're within a decent internet connection.
Very smart. I didn't even think of it.
Like Anna, she'd go down to Paris. She goes to some restaurant. She's just using the video camera. That's how all these vloggers make so much money on YouTube. It's all casual. Not hardly any of it's produced. A lot of these, it's just casual. I'm in front of da-da-da, and they show some food and stuff like that, and they do their blog that way through video, and they also type in.
Guys and ladies, could we do like a Google Hangout marathon where we all stand in front of a coffee shop and we agree that for 5 minutes each of us goes to talk about perfect espresso and compare what people think about different espressos in different countries? That would be so cool to actually have that.
But my coffee in America is terrible.
Really?
That's not fair. You guys have the better coffee.
Well, Marco is probably the luckiest in here.
Well, I'm in Paris. They have really with the best though.
I love Parisian coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
the
want.
more,
I have corporate coffee.
Whoops.
Ooh. There you go.
that should be right.
You're right, Anna.
Okay, no, I was going to say I can French coffee waiter talking about no coffee as good espresso à Paris. You, I can,
Sorry, Anna, can you type it in? It was not clear. Your video has kind of, yeah,
sorry.
your
Oh,
video
no, that's fine.
slows
It's
you
just
down a
a
little bit, no?
slow connection more than anything.
Yeah, I think so. We can't hear you properly right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon from Sweden.
Hello, Ola.
Yes. Good afternoon from Sweden.
Hiya. Hello, Ola.
I have to check what speaker I should use. I have you also on the live stream that I should use.
Turn the sound off on the live stream. And then that'll work easier.
Here we are.
Anna, you said you're heavy on Facebook right now.
Well, heavy as I can be, and so heavy as I can be. But I haven't done anything on my blog. That's just the lazy.
Well, all I want to do is say I really think you should do both at the same time, especially get the I don't know what blogging platform you use, but you should really get that +1 on your blog, get the Google stuff on there, because the way the new search engine is going to be is those +1s is what's going to get you above everybody else. If your blog about Paris does it much more than the other blogs about Paris, you'll be at the top list if you have more +1s than someone else. And you can't do that on Facebook.
That's a tip, yeah. That's a little video. She actually got into the Google Chrome, because Google Chrome, and she's just doing videos about Paris, and it just in viral reach and very shareable. When popped, I'm not going to say blog.
Yeah, your video is really
choppy.
So
Anna, do you want to switch off video? Mute your video and just speak? Might help.
Okay.
because one thing you can do is you can. I'm sorry.
No, go for it, Craig.
Can you hear me?
Because the best way to do Facebook and your blog is you make the blog article, then you repost it on Facebook to get them to come over to your blog to read more about it. But you put a little excerpt on the
I
the
think
Facebook
that works
here, so-
very well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
that's
get
what I
more
was doing.
expensive, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to forget about +1s and.
And it may
How
pay
points
actually
can
to
be-
log out
Oh,
of the
plus
chat.
one.
Yeah.
Exit out of here and start again. Just come back in. Yeah. So yeah, if you're able to just exit out and then come back in, it'll refresh and then get on another server. It works that way. So yeah, and the other one is to change the low bandwidth, but Anna's brand new to the platform, Ollie, so that's why it's just going out and refresh. Her bandwidth's fine,
Yeah.
it just that it goes quiet. So Ollie, what things do you do?
Well, I'm a pensionist, but I'm inactive, and I've been listening to you for some time before I got the invitations to come in here. And I was in communications and had a lot to do with the third world countries about radio communication. So that's my background, and we were actually supplying the Swedish relief organizations with all the communications equipment.
That sounds really exciting.
Because they can't have the internet in many rural areas in the third world, and today I think still the radio communication, of course it's you have the satellites today, but I don't know about the pricing. Let's say 10 years ago they were extremely difficult to set up and also quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
How's that, Anna?
Or
It's not
Sorry?
quite right. It's better.
okay.
No, it's not
Okay.
better.
It's not better.
It's not better.
Up in the cogwheel next to the exit button, you can actually use the settings. Next to the microphone and the exit button, in between is a cog. And you go in there and choose the low bandwidth setting, which means you don't see all the pretty faces all the time, but what you do manage to see is the live screen, and it's John. Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. We're doing a live stream at the moment too. I'll give you the thing.
Really?
Yes.
Well then, I'll be on my best behaviour.
Oh, you're on your worst behaviour most of the time, and it's appreciated.
Well, I don't know. My worst behaviour is pretty bad.
Yes.
I guess we have to call you Dark Raider.
Dark Raider. Yes, that would be good for him.
Something like that.
John,
To what
just
end?
stay awesome.
What's the topic? What's the live stream about?
We're just
We're talking about
NGOs. And
Yeah, we're talking
NGOs
about
Oh,
how
NGOs.
meeting.
Fabulous. I know. I don't know anything about social media.
Yeah. And another thing I could add is that I'm actually using this media to do webcasts and webinars, and try to keep some groups on different topics. In my case, genealogy. But of course, this is a very nice venue to use for education.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about, because social media is so narcissistic, whether it really lends itself to the NGO world.
By the way, guys, did you see that they actually are using this screen sharing also on the normal Hangouts?
Yes. Yeah.
So I wonder why did you start it up on the extras?
Because we could put a title in on the extras.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
we wanted to title it so people know what it is about.
Very good. Yeah, that I didn't think about that.
Join.
I mean, obviously it's about everything. We just had a live stream of pizza making from somewhere around Venice a minute ago. So
Yeah. I understand this is quite an international gathering, I guess.
yes.
I've never seen a Hangout stay on topic, ever.
That's good. That's a good thing about it. You know, this thing that we're doing now, this social media breakfast, it's a monthly event, and it's always been all around the place in the chat. And the point is that people bring in as much as possible. The fact that it's about social media for non-for-profits is orientational, so it's good. I think we had some really great examples of how people use technology, internet, and generally speaking, everything for social good. But that's just, you know, one of many things. I'm more interested in just getting people to one room, and that's why Google Hangout is so awesome for it.
So here's what I want to do, speaking of social media for social good. Having met so many powerfully brilliant minds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Having met so many powerfully brilliant minds in Google Plus, I want to change the zeitgeist so we're no longer heading into a dark age. Because everyone I talk to of a certain age says, the world is going to hell in a handbasket, we're all getting dumber and there's nothing we can do about it, so we may as well serve ourselves. That's the current zeitgeist. And
Really?
it's wrong. But if you ask people, that's what they think.
Yep.
Are you referring to technology specifically, or you're referring to generally how people feel?
I'm referring to life in general.
Okay.
And perhaps it's a justification for rampant materialism and selfish behaviours. Or perhaps it's just genuinely what people believe. But it's wrong. I mean, we're living in an age of unprecedented wealth.
I think it's affected by the mainstream media in the way that people are very attracted to the bad news. And
I think
when
that's right.
I think the something that troubles me, and I agree with you on that, and I think Nick will agree with me. Do you know Yuan Simple? I'll just put it in because it's an interesting person. He's a guy we kind of chat to quite often. He's a kind of technology leader, and you know, he's one of the few people who's preaching about technology being good and being what we make of it. And I think people very often, when they talk about technology, I teach kids to use safe internet, and you know, the parents are always, oh, Facebook is rubbish, Facebook is to be blamed for kids going out in the evening and disappearing, and it's really the parents not knowing where the kids go. So it's not Facebook's fault. It's about what we make out of it. We just don't want to take responsibility for using technology wisely. I think there is a trend like that. I think we as in the general public has a very negative approach to technology, and media is not helping.
I agree. This stuff has been around for years. It's just in a different format. When I was a kid, we all had CB radios in the United States. So it's not like chat rooms this is the first time chat rooms have been around. We had chat rooms in the 70s, but it was in the form of a microphone, and everybody had a CB radio or a walkie-talkie, and we all would hang out on Saturday night. There would be 50 of us all in channel 19 on CB radio. I don't know if you had it internationally, but we would all hang out. Then we all say, hey, let's all meet at the pizza parking lot. It's no different than it is now with a chat room on Facebook or something like that. It's just a different format. It all comes down to parents. I agree. I mean, parental responsibility.
But I think you're right. I mean, this kind of negative approach is quite interesting because it's not very empowering. We're looking for, you know, we talk about the crisis of values and everything, but there's so many good ideas. I just recently found a TED talk by a I don't know, 11-year-old boy who's designing apps in App Store. And he's just so passionate about it. But we don't talk about this stuff. Like in the UK, you get criticized if you start involving kids in anything online.
So
yet I see my son on iPad being much more effective than I am. And he's just 6. He's teaching me how to use my iPad, you know, and I feel really happy that I can listen to him. Apart from the fact where he keeps playing my games, but that's different. Yes, it was really good to experiment with. Michael, thank you very much for doing all the techie stuff for us. It's great. In terms of just this monthly event, for people who'll be watching the recording, we have a LinkedIn group. We have a hashtag which is VSMB for Voice Social Media Breakfast. It's a monthly event. And I'm thinking I'll probably do a mailing list to update everyone on when the next one is happening, because not everyone is following us on Google+. So that across different platforms we can stay in touch. But wherever you go to Google, you'll find Voice Social Media Breakfast if you're interested in this topic. The next one will probably be during the Barcamp London I'm doing on the 17th of Feb. And it's actually Social Media Week around the world. It's a Friday of that week. So it might be an interesting experience to actually do a Google Hangout where I join in from an event. So we will be in a bigger room with people from different charities and geeks from London joining in with you guys. So let's see how that goes, if we can make it happen. Or maybe sit down in a smaller room, yeah? Otherwise, we'll continue hanging out and talking about technology. So if you have any comments, just start posting on YouTube in comment section, and we'll take it on board. Oops.